North Korea, formerly known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, is shrouded in enigma, an isolated state nestled in the eastern corner of the Asian continent. This secretive nation stands out as the last remaining communist dictatorship in the world. Its official name, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, serves as a stark contrast to its actual governance style, highlighting how the nation's image diverges sharply from its reality. So let's embark on a journey to uncover the essence of this enigmatic nation. Delving deeper into the history of North Korea reveals a complex narrative. After decades of Japanese colonial rule, the Korean peninsula was liberated in 1945. But instead of achieving immediate reunification, the peninsula found itself divided along the 38th parallel. The Soviet Union administered the North, and the United States oversaw the South. This division, intended to be temporary, solidified into a permanent split in 1948, giving rise to two separate states. Each claimed to be the legitimate government of the entire Korean peninsula. This discord culminated in the Korean War, a devastating three-year conflict that began in 1950. The war resulted in millions of casualties and left the peninsula divided by a demilitarized zone, or DMZ, which to this day remains one of the most heavily guarded borders globally. Despite the signing of an armistice in 1953, the two Koreas are still technically at war. This state of affairs has created a legacy of conflict that continues to shape the region's geopolitical dynamics. The foundation of North Korea's society is deeply rooted in Confucianism, a philosophy that has traditionally emphasized respect for elders, hierarchy, and social harmony. However, the introduction of communism led to the establishment of a one-party state with a strong emphasis on collectivism over individualism. This system, coupled with a personality cult centered around the Kim dynasty, has resulted in a society that is highly controlled and tightly knit. North Korea's economy, primarily an agrarian one, has faced numerous challenges, including decades of mismanagement, international sanctions, and natural disasters. Despite efforts to promote heavy industry and a consumer economy, the country continues to grapple with food shortages and a lack of basic commodities. The absence of a free market and the centralized planning of the government have limited economic growth and resulted in widespread poverty. Despite its immense natural beauty, North Korea remains one of the most restricted countries for tourism. International visitors are only permitted in small numbers and under close supervision. The few tourists who do venture in are primarily taken to carefully selected sites in Pyongyang, the capital city, which is largely in a bubble. Most of the country remains off-limits, contributing to North Korea's image as a secretive and isolated nation. North Korea's nuclear weapons program has been a significant source of tension on the Korean peninsula and beyond. The development and testing of nuclear weapons by North Korea have raised serious concerns about regional stability and have led to international condemnation and sanctions. The country's pursuit of nuclear capabilities highlights its desire for regional dominance and serves as a reminder of the Cold War-era rivalry between the superpowers. The issue of human rights in North Korea is a pressing concern. The government's tight control over every aspect of citizens' lives, coupled with severe punishments for those who dissent, has resulted in a dismal human rights record. Reports of political prisoners and the use of forced labor have shed light on the harsh realities faced by many North Koreans. The lack of due process and the prevalence of torture are disturbing aspects of the country's justice system. Language plays a vital role in shaping a society, and North Korea is no exception. The Korean language spoken in the North differs slightly from the version spoken in the South. Additionally, the government has developed its own unique vocabulary and terminology, much of which is centered around the ruling ideology and the country's history. Propaganda, often disseminated through posters, plays a crucial role in shaping public perception and enforcing the regime's ideology in North Korea. These posters frequently depict scenes of daily life, historical moments, and leaders of the country, all through a lens that glorifies the government and promotes unwavering loyalty. Traditions in North Korea are a blend of ancient customs and more recent developments. While respecting elders and ancestors is deeply ingrained in the culture, new traditions have emerged that center around the ruling family and the nation's history. The celebration of holidays like the Day of the Sun and the anniversaries of important historical events serve to reinforce national identity and unity. Family plays a pivotal role in North Korean society. The emphasis on collectivism means that individuals are often defined by their relationships within the family unit. Loyalty to the family is paramount, and decisions are often made with the well-being of the extended family in mind. The government encourages large families, and the ideal of filial piety is highly valued. Art in North Korea is primarily used as a tool for propaganda and the expression of political ideology. Traditional Korean art forms such as painting, music, and dance are often incorporated into displays of patriotism and displays of support for the regime. Artists are expected to create works that glorify the nation and its leaders, and any form of artistic expression that challenges the government is suppressed. Religion in North Korea is a sensitive topic. While the country's constitution guarantees freedom of religion, in practice, religious activities are tightly controlled, and most forms of public religious expression are banned. The government promotes a state-sponsored ideology known as Juche, which is designed to replace traditional religious beliefs. The suppression of religion is part of the regime's efforts to maintain absolute control over its citizens. Education in North Korea is highly politicized and serves as a primary tool for the indoctrination of the population. The curriculum is designed to instill loyalty to the ruling regime and the country's history. Students are taught to view the government as an all-knowing entity and to be suspicious of outside influences such as the West. Critical thinking and questioning the government are discouraged. Healthcare in North Korea is theoretically free for all citizens, but in practice, the system is severely underfunded and inaccessible to many. The government prioritizes the health of the elite, and ordinary citizens often have to pay bribes to receive adequate medical attention. The country faces shortages of medical supplies and qualified healthcare professionals, and the overall quality of care is substandard by international standards. Food and nutrition in North Korea are a critical issue. Despite the country's potential for agriculture, North Korea regularly faces food shortages due to mismanagement and international sanctions. Malnutrition is widespread, and this situation is exacerbated by the country's isolation, which restricts the import of essential food supplies. The government's focus on heavy industry over agriculture has also contributed to the food insecurity. One of the most recognizable aspects of North Korean society is the ubiquitous presence of foreign languages, particularly Russian and Chinese. These languages are taught in schools and are commonly used alongside Korean in various public spaces. This emphasis on foreign languages reflects the country's need to interact with the outside world for trade and diplomatic purposes, as well as its historical ties to the Soviet Union and China. It is a vast nation encompassing nearly 120,000 square kilometers. That's larger than the entirety of the United Kingdom. It shares its land borders with China to the north and northeast, and Russia to the northwest. Additionally, it is separated from the Korean peninsula by the Yellow Sea to the west and the East Sea to the east. Its population stands at approximately 26 million inhabitants as of 2023. That's roughly comparable to the population of Saudi Arabia. It is widely known for its reclusive nature and stringent policies towards foreigners. In fact, it is estimated that fewer than 1,000 tourists visit North Korea annually. Its official language is Korean. However, Russian also holds a significant position, especially in government circles and among the elite. This stems from its historical ties to the Soviet Union during the Cold War era. North Korea's climate varies from temperate in the south to continental with cold winters in the north. The country experiences distinct seasons with summers that can be hot and humid in the lowlands and winters that bring heavy snowfall, particularly in the mountainous regions. Its GDP is around 30 billion US dollars. That's approximately 1/10 of South Korea's economy. The GDP per capita is estimated to be just over 1,000 US dollars, reflecting significant economic disparities within the country. Agriculture, mining, and light industry contribute significantly to its economy. Its currency is the North Korean won. However, it is almost impossible for foreigners to obtain it as the currency is not traded internationally. Due to its isolation, obtaining accurate economic data for North Korea is challenging. Much of the information available is often incomplete or subject to political agendas, making it difficult to get a clear picture of its financial standing. While North Korea is heavily influenced by Confucianism and traditional Korean culture, it has developed its own unique brand of socialism known as Juche. Juche, meaning self-reliance, is the country's official ideology, which permeates every aspect of its society, from politics to economics and even daily life.